Right, here we are. So it says leaked documents detail how residents could be herded into rest and reception areas in home counties. Disturbingly, it talks about long-term housing if an attack made. So they can rehouse you for a very long period of time. It could be an internment camp, or it could be a major, gigantic mega grocery store. They can herd you inside those stores too. Okay, or in certain, small towns or certain sort of areas they can push you in. Okay, so it says if an attack made it in an area, explain to that passing about. So it says, come on, man. Right, so it says, this is getting on my nerves, man. This school is alright, it's alright. It's not bad. Yeah, it's right here, yeah. So it says if an attack made in an area uninhabitable, raising the possibility of internment and massive government orchestrated confiscation of valuable real estate in capital. So they'll be able to take your cars, they'll be able to take anything that's valuable to you, wipe everything out, and take you included as well. All right. These new executive powers should also be seen in the context of a drive for a national police force. The war against terrorism is set to be masterminded by a new UK police force dubbed Blanket Stormtroopers. Scotland on Sunday reveals. So it says the Civil Contingency Act was passed into law on the 18th of November 2004. I wrote 2 letters to my MP and expressed my own concerns about the act, and I was delighted to receive details replied from Ruth Kelly, the Minister of the Cabinet Office. On both occasions, she would not accept my reasoning that the important difference between the old and the new legislation is that whereas under the old act, emergency powers were explicitly restricted to protecting public interest. So they're gonna knock that old 1920s act out of the way, and they're gonna bring in a new act, which is the Civil Contingency Bill. Okay, so it says, and the new act makes no such stipulations, allowing them to be used to protect government or financial interests, with the associated abuse of power that could entail the exchange of letters is reproduced on police planning. Okay, but there's another part I want to read as well. One last part. Right, this is the part right here. So it says plans have been drawn up by the government for mass evacuation of London in the event of a terrorist attack, because that's what they did in World War II. They did 2 things in World War II. They've used the rationing system, and they've also evacuated large amounts of teachers. I think it was 3-point-something million people they moved out of the city. And they put them in they were housing them in different areas, like places like outside of Liverpool and those sort of country areas. So that's what they did back in World War II. So when the Third World War comes, which Albert Pike, which the people that's going to orchestrate this nuclear war are those that believe in the Albert Pike doctrine. Okay? And we also know based on the Bible prophecy. Matter of fact, brother, give me Revelations 11 and what is it? Start from verse 13. Because we know without a shadow of a doubt that the Third World War is coming. Because it's prophesied to come. Yeah, hold on to what you got, brother. Yeah, I think it's Revelations 13. Start from 14. Actually, start from 13.
So Revelation 11 and 13.
Yeah.
And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell.
Yeah.
And in the same
a little bit down.
And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell.
Right, and that's talking about America. Okay, because America's made out of 10 area codes. You go into, I believe when you go into the, man, I forgot what it was called. When you go into the area codes, but there was this thing that showed that these sort of area codes. This website had, I think it was, man. Oh should know this, man. You should know this. Like there's a thing where, you know what I'm talking about, right? The one, you know what I'm talking about. You know where it shows the 10. There's this sort of article or website where it shows the 10 cities.
No.
Oh man. I think it has something to do with FEMA or something like that. It has something to do with FEMA.
You're talking about the
Rex, is it Rex? No,
yeah,
Rex 84.
Rex 84.
It's Rex 84,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Rex. There's a document based on Rex 84, and it shows you how America's made out of 10 area codes. So the 10th part is either talking about like a place like New York or so, or even Maine. That's the 10th part. But the point being is whether it be the 10th part or not, that entire city of America is going to be totally annihilated and destroyed. Okay, it's going to be turned into a desert. Go on, brother.
And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell,
right.
And in the earthquake were slain.
And by the way, 10 means also completion as well. Go on.
And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000,
right.
And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven.
Right. So this is what John the Revelator saw, and he was in the island of Patmos. Okay. And he saw that vision. He saw America being basically nuked off the face of the map. Now the reason why he said 7,000 men, because it was signified the majority, all of the people. Like I said, the number 7 means completion, just like the number 10 means completion. So it's talking about a completion of thousands of men being totally destroyed, dissolved. Go on, brother.
And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven.
Right, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. Because when we get beamed up by them chariots, the angels of the Heavenly Father, and I'm not talking about some carriage, some chariot like a horse carriage. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who the so-called white man calls UFOs. Once we get beamed up, those missiles are going to hit ground zero. Likewise, and we're going to be so frightened and scared, and we're going to give praise to the Lord that He chose us to be saved out of that. You know, so that's what that's going into. You looking for someone? What are you looking for?
Where you're going into about how the remnant.
Oh yeah.
Only with an eyes. So that's
You see the
word of the wicked and good.
Yeah. You can get that too. Let me see if I can. See if I can help you get that. Hey, brother, if you got the view of that, I can just put it. Yeah, so what's the verse? It says, did you say this in the
Psalm 91.
Oh, you already got it. Go on.
As Psalms 91, and
Yeah, brother, you alright? You need something to drink or something?
Kind of firm and stored. I'm alright for now.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know if anything, brother.
I think he's got a drink in his bag.
What's that?
I think you said you got something.
Yeah. Go on.
as Psalms 91 and 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand,
Right.
but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
Right, and that includes the majority of the 2/3 of our own people, and that mainly includes the so-called white man. So we're gonna see the reward of the wicked, and the reward of the wicked is going to be totally a blast from heaven, and that blast from heaven is going to come down on earth, and it's going to come by those missiles, which is known as the instrument of death, which the Lord has created. Okay, the Lord has given the idea of your modern day Smiths to create that sort of instrument for His work. You understand?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, go on, brother.
This is 2nd Esdras 8 verse 55.
Yeah.
And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish.
Right.
For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High.
Right. So look now upon them, because this was the prophet Esdras, and what he was going into is how Because the thing with Esdras was kind of like, saddened for the majority of his people. But the Lord said, ask no questions concerning the majority, because they're going to die anyway. That's the same sort of group of majority of Israelites that disobeyed the laws of the Heavenly Father, and they also continue, even outside of that, disobeyed the Heavenly Father. Okay, even when it came to the prophets or the law was given unto them, they disobeyed it. So forget them. Go on.
Thought scorn of his law.
Right, thought scorn of his law. Go on.
And forsook his ways.
And forsook his ways. And that's what our people do on the daily. They do it on the internet. They see that the truth is out and who they are and what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be conducting themselves. And they still want to go astray from that. And they want to dabble in this world because they believe that this world is going to continue forever and ever, and that they're going to reap the rewards of doing the things of this world. When this world is likened unto a fallen ship, why would you build something that's fallen? Go on, brother.
Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous.
Right, and moreover, they have trodden down the righteous. And that's what they've done back thousands of years ago. They smacked the prophets upside the head. Okay, they've even dragged Stephen, which was 2,000 plus years ago. They dragged him on the street where the public people are at, the communists, and basically killed him. That's what they did. So our people, the 2/3 of them, they gotta pay for that. Go on, brother. I tell you what, brother, get the brother some water. Get the brother some water, brother.
Give me some water.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get him anything, brother.
And said in their hearts that there is no God.
Right, and said in their heart that there is no God.
Yea, and that knowing they must die.
And that knowing they must die. Okay, because the Lord already set it up already. The writing is already on the wall, man. And that saying goes back to the book of Daniel. Everything's already being predestined to happen. Okay, the things that we're reading already in the visions that the prophets received, those were current events that happened in a different realm. But it's going to happen in this realm. Okay? So that's all we bringing out. We're not going to come out here and threaten people or whatever. People threaten us more than we threaten them. All we come out to do is to do the bidding of the Lord. That's all we come out here to do. Go on, brother.
It says, for as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them.
Right, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. Because that's already played out. That vision that Esdras had intact, or the visions that John the Revelator had intact, it was already played out. And now those prophecies are going to play out. Okay, so really, when you reach to that high level of understanding, you can't get mad at Esau being a devil. You really can't get mad at Jake doing what they're doing, because the Lord programmed them to invoke that vision. Everything's being played out. So all we got to do is do our part and play our part of the show. Go on, brother.
So it said, for it was not his will that men should come to naught.
Right.
But they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them.
Right, and that's talking about Israelites, man. They done that. They were the ones that thought scorn of the Lord. They were the ones that defiled the Lord and what he represented in his name. So that's why the Lord shortened it. And he said, you know what? I'm going to just deal with the elect. I'm going to deal with the prophets and the men that I created to serve me. And forget about the majority of it. Because when the majority down on this side, they're going to come back again and they're going to get it all over again. Go on.
And therefore is my judgment now at hand.
And therefore my judgment is now at hand. And that's all you got to read, brother. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that article you wrote. Because we're in the time of the great astronomical judgment at hand. We're literally at the precipice of it. We're no longer We're no longer 100 years towards it. We're right here. We're here. Okay. Everything's being prepared and planned and ready to go. So I'm going to read this article. Matter of fact, brother, give me your phone. It's on your phone. The what? Yeah, the article. There was an article. Yeah, it was on Telegram. It was a Telegram. Going back to this right here, it says the Metropolitan Police Federation will be asking its members whether they would be willing to carry a gun or taser in the wake of a spate of a terror attack. In Europe, they will also be asked if the prospect being armed would put them of their jobs. Nationally, the number of armed police is being boosted to 1,500 because you got to think about the prior cyber attacks that occurred. You had one that occurred in France. You had one that occurred in, I think it's Belgium. And this was at the Passover of last year, I believe. I believe it was like around March or somewhere like that. So all of these cyber attacks or orchestrated terrorist attacks are going to bring in the martial law being declared and the cops having to be more empowered with their guns, ultimately to control the public. So it says, the number of that security officials believe Britain needs to help protect the public from the possibility of a terror attack. However, the police chiefs say they have struggled to recruit firearm officers, claiming that many fear that they could spend years on the investigation if they use their weapons in a line of duty. It's not gonna go into no investigation, because it's gonna go from them protecting the British public, which is what they want to do anyway, to ultimately basically clamping down on these streets, clamping down in these cities, excuse me. So if you're trapped in Liverpool, those M5 highways are going to be trapped with tanks, okay, and different military men. This is what's going to happen on the shores of Britain.
I think that's in Isaiah, so I'm going to say Isaiah 10 verse 5.
Get me that, brother. Get me Isaiah 10 and 5.
The Syrian, the rod of mine anger.
Cunt. And that's what's going to happen. The so-called white man, he's going to show how much of a devil and how much of a savager of death he could be. That's going to be his time to shine. Go on, brother.
It's Isaiah.
Go on.
Isaiah 10 and 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
Because I mean, when you deal with the ancient Assyrians, which I believe I'm not too keen with the time period, but obviously it was thousands of years ago.
Before 777 BC.
Okay, so that's about.
It was obviously before the Babylonians, so they were looking at 800 BC.
So it's about 2,200 years ago, right?
2,800, 700 years ago, around that time.
Okay. But you said it was 800. You said it was 800. What is it? BC and
yeah, BC. That's 2,800 BC.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, sorry, 2,800 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. You was right the first time. 2,800 years ago. So that's what they did. Because when you actually go into the story of the ancient Assyrians, they were very, very cruel against our people. Very cruel. Highly cruel. And that same sort of spirit that the ancient Assyrians had, that same spirit is going to rub on Esau. The Lord is going to put that ruthless spirit against the house of Jacob again. Okay, because you got certain souls that are created to bring forth death and lay for what? Sore strokes. That's those different spirits the Lord created, man. On a certain map. On certain men on earth, excuse me. Go on, brother.
Verse 6. I will send him against an hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath, who I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets.
Read it again, brother.
To take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets.
And that's what's going to go down. Okay, the Lord is going to give them charge. Who's going to be given the charge? Edomites, man. That's going to have this, uniform on, this military like uniform on, or SWAT team uniform on, and they're going to be gunning down random people. They've already gunned down what? A Muslim woman, because she had the burqa on. She had a cover in her face, and they suspected her as a terrorist. So they just entered in her house and they shot her on the spot. And then and also, I mean, I don't know if they passed a law or they're going to pass a law where they're going to just shoot random suspected terrorists inside of a car. See that? So they already doing it, man. They moving now. They no longer dragging their feet. Go on, brother. They moving, man. They moving. This thing is serious now. Go on, brother.
Verse 7. Howbeit ye meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so, but it is in the heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few.
Read that again. You have to read that one more time.
Howbeit he meaneth not so, never doth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy.
It is in his heart to destroy. Go on.
And cut off nations, not few.
And that's what the so-called white man's been doing ever since 2003. They've been going over there to Pakistan, Baghdad, and them sort of places, and dropping bombs on those different Arabs down there, those different Assyrians and Arabs down there. They've been doing that for a long time, man, and they still destroying certain areas, man, in the Middle East. So that's talking about Esau without a shadow of a doubt. That's talking about Esau right there. And guess what? He's going to use that same sort of mentality to destroy the majority of our people. Go on, brother.
And verse 8, for he saith, are not my princes altogether kings?
Right.
Is not...
Yeah, that's it. That's it on that. Yeah, so I'm going to continue on with this. Yeah, so it says, last year Scotland Yard announced plans to increase number of armed police in the capital by 600, bringing the total to almost 3,000. Because I think what they want to do is they want to gather, I believe, a maximum amount of 7,000, which was in the Civil Contingency Act bill. So they just about there. They got to get 4,000 more boys on deck, man. They got to get 4,000 more boys on deck. So it says, the Metropolitan Police Federation, which represents 32,000 officers in London, is asking all of its members whether or not they would be happy to be armed on duty. See?
And who's gonna say no?
And who's gonna say no? Right.
Big old gun.
See, after that guy, the guy that got killed, the other police officer, if he had a gun, he probably thought, if he had a gun, that would not, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna spin the story now. So it says, Ken Marsh, chairman of the association, said, we've seen a lot of change in Europe and a lot of different kinds of, I say, cyber attacks, such as lorries being used. Remember? That's what I was going back to. The incident that happened in France, the incident that happened in Belgium. So these sort of psychological aberrations, which is short for PSYOP, what they're going to do is they're going to use these cyber events to give a reason on why the police should protect the people and be armed on duty. You got a precept, brother? Okay. So it says, we're asking our officers if they think they should be armed with tasers and firearms to get an informed opinion from them so we can tell people what my colleagues are saying. All right? If it comes back overwhelmingly that they all want to carry firearms, we would have to have a very frank discussion about that. But there is no intention as we speak for that to happen. And there will be an intention for that to happen. Oh, very soon. However, if there was a major incident on mainland England, then I think that people's opinion could change. So and you know what, too? I remember there was an article that went out, I believe it was last year, how the British public, they actually wanted the cops to be armed because they want to feel more secure in it. That's what they want. But when another major incident happens on the mainland again, that's really going to steer the majority of the people to accept that idea that the cops be, that armed. So it's all psychological, man. They're messing with the people's psyche. Get them to adapt to the new world order system, to take away their rights, everything. That's where this whole thing is going towards, man. Okay? This society is not going to be a bright one. Alright, you got people, they think that things are going to just get better. We're in an economic downturn and the economy is going to somehow, out of nowhere, rise into fruition. That's not going to happen. Things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And things are going to get so bad and so worrisome that you can't even comprehend. And we know without a shadow of a doubt, it's not a matter of if or maybe or when it could happen. We know without a certainty, the worst of the worst is to come. Go on, brother.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse speaks about why do I see every man with his hands on his loins,
right,
and in pain. Then it says for Jacob's trouble,
right.
We read up a verse from Jacob's Trouble.
Say it, brother. You can break it down if you want. I gotta read this, you see.
Start. So wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his nose?
So Jeremiah 30:4. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace.
You hear that? So get me like, there's no peace coming, man. There's no peace, no matter what these churches say, no matter what Esau says. All right, a voice of trembling, man. Have you ever heard someone trembling? They don't sound confident. You know, the words are stuttering.
That's how the police know when you're guilty about something.
Yeah.
If you're scared, you can't help yourself.
Your eyes is all over the place. Your knees are knocking. You're pissing in your.
I always use that term. I don't know why.
You might hear a couple farts.
I wasn't there, officer.
You know what I'm saying? You might hear something. You know what I'm saying? He's shaking, man. His arms are just vibrating beside him.
And you know, in some cases, man, you know, diarrhea occurs too. Shit in the pants, man.
That's what happens, man.
Yeah.
No, that's what they found. You know, when on General Custard, when the native Indians Gadites fucked up the North American cavalry, and when they found the dead bodies, there was actually shit in the when he found the bodies was caught up and there was actually shit inside their pants, man.
Wow.
When he found the bodies and shit, man, for real. The guy that's really fucked them up, man, the white man, General Custard, I think his name was Captain General Custard.
Yeah, General Custard. Yeah, he was shitting custard out of his pants, man.
Yeah.
That's real right there.
I think it was the Battle of Little Bighorn or something like that. Forget the name of the battle, man.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyway, man.
Because they say your emotions are connected to your intestines. So if you're nervous, you either get
That was a nice one. That was a nice one.
Or you just release, man. You gotta go, man.
Oh gosh, man.
I didn't know that. Brother. So you're saying, right, that basically your emotions are connected to your intestines. Wow.
That's amazing.
So if a woman is playing two guys, she's confused about which one she really wants. She'll end up constipated. She can't go to the toilet for days.
Wow.
You know?
God damn, man.
Yeah. All of that shit build up.
Because she's playing with one guy and then she's playing with the other guy and she's caught up in between and you know.
Yeah. Stuck.
Yeah, she's stuck in between. She can't shit. Because a guy is normal to have two girls, man. You know, it's nothing to him. You have two, three women. For a woman, man, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah. That's not to joke around with, man. Yeah, so brother, man, something went wrong, you know.
You lost it again.
Because I went on to this right here. You know, we got the different pages and stuff. It should come up. Yeah, so it says you gotta. Did you have a scripture?
Wait, we haven't finished that thing.
You finished that one.
That's back to Jeremiah 30:5. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child.
So they're screaming, because when a woman is travailing with child, she's screaming. Okay, go ahead.
I learned way before,
Good.
Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child.
Yeah.
Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as
Yeah.
a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
You see that? So boy, man, that's the times we're coming to. Go ahead. Oh, that's the times we're in. Go ahead.
Alas, for that day is great,
None like it.
so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
I said, alas, man, meaning finally, like, you know, it's here, you know, because in Habakkuk it says, though it tarry, wait for it, man, for it shall surely come. In Proverbs it says, for surely there shall be an